PewDiePie has come out with another video for his 1-year art journey, and let's have a watch. I want you guys to make sure to subscribe if you find this video useful, or give it a like if you liked the video. Also comment down below if you have anything to say about PewDiePie's video or my reaction to it. Without further ado, we'll get straight into it, guys. Thanks.
I drew every day for a year. What's the progress? Was it worth it? So this all started as a random idea. I wanted to make a progression video and I picked art because I thought it was easy to track. Like, I'll draw for 30 days, I can show the first day and then I can compare it to the last day. That'll be interesting to see. Did I make progress? People were so encouraging of the video and I really enjoyed picking up drawing. So I kept going and I did a 100-day one and people enjoyed it even more. There was no way I was gonna stop. I had to do at least a year. And here we are. Being here, I have so many emotions. I am happy. Alright, let's...
That was pretty real. No, I remember whenever he came out with his first video and I was like, wow! It's pretty incredible to see the difference.
To it, let's watch. Sorry, my nails. This is where it all started. 365 days ago. Day 1. Is that a self-portrait? Is that Björn? Yes. Yes. Man, this is nice to watch. Like, okay, some are not terrible. This gives me confidence. Here's when I started to look up tutorials and stuff online. You think it'd be better, but they all kind of look like they have some sort of allergy.
No tutorial?
Like they ate a lobster and they have a seafood allergy. The chin is very big. I probably would have made it something more like, I wonder if I can fix this. I feel bad for future past stuff. Damn, I drew so hard I can't erase. Damn, that's just simple change and it's already so much better.
That does look a lot better. I do see some people online saying that the original was better. And I guess it's just subjective, right? The shape language of the face. But I do think this one looks better, especially if he's trying to develop his own style. I think that's important for his progress for his art journey.
I realize, and maybe other people have said this too, but drawing is more about training your brain to see rather than actually technical with your hand. I think that's a misconception I had. But after 30 days, this was the progress of my first video. I was so happy with it, and I think I should be, because the progress is definitely there.
He should be. He should be very proud of his work. He's made a lot of stepping stones to get to where he's at right now, so he should feel proud.
So this is my progress after 82 days, 84. And I really think here's where I peaked in terms of if you wanted to just improve as much as possible in the shortest time. I think just adding colors on papers is so satisfying to look at that it kind of forgives a lot of the anatomy errors, the poor line work, the sketches still being there. Like, it's just nice to look at regardless. But yeah, this is the last thing I drew for my 100-day video, and yeah, it's cute. I did it. I drew something. So, let's check the progress.
But that last drawing that he did was really good. Now, I know he's commenting on, like, the poor quality of, I don't know, the line work and things like that, or his poor proportions, but they really weren't that off. And line quality is more subjective than anything, so some people are going to say, oh, like, the line work was good. Other people are going to say, like, oh, well, he needs to work on the line work a little bit more. So that part is subjective, I think. Art is subjective, but I think if he's viewing it as, you know, this is where I come from and this is where I am now, it's good to see, like, the lens that he has and the things that he needs to improve on now that he's so far in his journey. So it's interesting.
From there on, that's wrong. First of all, don't do what I did. I just kept drawing the same things. Anime girl. Too much anime. Just bad. Just bad. I was trying to be technical and like give myself notes so I can improve. I wanted
like putting notes on what how you feel in the moment about your art can actually be really, really interesting to go back and like look at all the things that you wrote down and how you felt about it and how you feel about it currently, looking back at your notes? The funny thing about, like, everybody goes on to Pinterest and finds like pretty girls to draw or like anime girls. I don't know. It's like a phase that everybody goes through. I think that's funny.
More consistent. I think that's why I kept doing this. But if I had to redo it, absolutely not. This is where I should have moved on to something else. I should have just drawn anything else. And if
But it's not bad to continue to draw like all of the things that it's not bad to stay like in one area as long as you eventually move on to something else, right? Because you're going to get really good at doing that one thing. But like maybe going back and learning some fundamentals like perspective, how to draw a box in space. There are things that you can go and learn. But I think he's actually starting right. Like he wanted to draw like these anime portraits or anime girls, as he was saying. But that's what he liked to draw. So if it's encouraging him to continue to draw, there's nothing wrong with that inherently.
yeah, I did. I really wanted to draw more color, but it takes so much time to do that, and I really felt like I needed mileage more than anything. So just adding a little bit of color, sure, we'll ink it, but that's the most effort I'm gonna get into. Yeah, just sketching random stuff I find online. Finally, I move on and I draw boys. This is the boys arc. I drew so much guys from anime because I thought I drew so many mangas. You probably recognize these. I think this is Jujutsu Kaisen. I think, you know, this is a good time for me to address a couple things from my last video. And one of them is just a huge thanks to other YouTubers that reacted to my video. I think that was so cool to see and actually get encouraged by professionals. I really appreciated that. Another thing was that people said I had an art background. That was like a rumor that went around. And I guess I take that as a compliment, but no, I do not. I have not studied art. That was the whole point of this video. I was not being disingenuous. I have not drawn since I was a kid, but I loved doing Photoshop. Before YouTube, I loved photoshopping images. And creating artworks that way. So maybe in a sense that helped, but I think the biggest sort of thing that helped is that I'm actually older. Like I'm 35 now, and I think if I did this thing when I was younger, I would not have seen the same improvement. But I also think, you know, the improvement I had, anyone can achieve. Like I wanted my video to be inspiring for other people to do the same thing.
I think it's really important that he says that, because he says that because he's 35 now, he can look at it and improve better or faster. But he also says, you know, this isn't something that it's just me or that my age has to do with. Like anybody can do what I'm doing. Anybody can do this and improve in art. So that's really important, because I see a lot of people, a lot of young people nowadays who are way better than I was when I was in high school or middle school. I mean, I had some fundamentals and I was okay at painting, but I had some stuff that was really atrocious, but it was fundamental for me to learning those things. So
that's my goal. Like people say anyone can draw, and I truly believe that. Oh, and by the way, I wrote a blog post. Yes, I write blog posts now. It's just more details about my favorite type of notebooks, my favorite kind of pens. If I were to do this challenge again, what would I do differently? How to remain consistent? All these sort of stuff. If you wanted to do this challenge yourself, I recommend checking that out. I just didn't want to get too much detail in this video. But an insecurity of mine was brewing, which was I couldn't, like if I wanted to draw anime style, sorry, it's hard to see here. You start with a circle, you draw a middle line, you draw where the eyes are going to be, you kind of figure out how the chin is going to be, the nose, the mouth, the ear, and you're swirling some hair really quick. This method is so helpful because when you draw, it's all about balance. Like if I drew directly, same thing, and anything is like out of proportion, the whole thing just kind of looks weird. So to draw directly, it was so difficult. So I bought this pen. This pen is amazing. It's a brush pen, and if you squeeze it, ink comes out, and you can draw really slim lines, or really thick lines really quickly. And I told myself I was gonna force myself to use this pen, even though it looks like shit. I was gonna really, like, I'm gonna use this pen. I need to learn how to draw without the whole circle thing again.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing the proportional grids. For example, using like the Loomis method, and what he's doing is sort of like a derivation of the Loomis method. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. I use it all the time, and I don't think artists should be scared of using that. But if he's wanting to like challenge himself to get out of that zone of just using the grid for everything, I think that's an okay thing. If that's something that he wants to challenge himself to learn and to do, that's awesome.
That's what I wanted to do. And it took some time. It felt like taking 100 steps back, but that's how you have to improve. You know, you have to get out of your comfort zone. But I think eventually I started to sort of get the hang of it, and you can get kind of really quickly satisfying result with the high contrast. I really enjoyed. So I did some manga panels, and yeah, it feels like I'm looking at a manga. It's really cool. Getting more comfortable. It's still so hard with proportions, man. Like anything is slightly off, it's gonna suck. So yeah, this felt like a little side quest, but I'm glad I took it. And yeah, it was really fun. But what I should have been doing is draw other things as well. I did find it amazing, like how I could all of a sudden, even though I never practiced drawing a cloud, I could draw a cloud better than I ever could. So that's...
I find myself doing the same thing, actually. Like, I want to push past...
Daddy!
Baron!
Thea.
What's wrong?
Thea.
What's wrong with Thea?
Ash your bed.
Oh, yeah?
Thea, bed.
Will you go lay down with him?
Yes, I'll do you.
Okay. That's something that I find myself doing quite a bit, actually, as well. Like, trying to push myself past just drawing people, because I've drawn people for so long. And there's other things that I want to draw, especially to, like, add to my mental library of things that I want to incorporate in my art later. And that's a really important part. But it's true, he's mentioning that he's able to draw a cloud better, even though he's never drawn a cloud, or hasn't in a really long time, just because he was able to work on his line work and other proportions or other aspects of other drawings. And that's really important too. That's interesting.
Okay, I'm done. But I think something finally sparked in me, where before I was like, okay, I just want to draw for the sake of drawing. I don't have any interest in anything. I started drawing manga panels. I started drawing perspective, and I wanted to understand these things. Drawing landscapes. This is Nihei. I love his work so much. So finally, after, I don't know, 300 days of drawing, I picked up an art book. I should have done this ages ago. So I picked up a couple art books, some more technical than others, but I really enjoyed this one, Taco, because I enjoyed the style of it. Obviously, everyone has different preferences. I think if you were to be a professional artist, you probably want to pick like a human anatomy book and really study it. But for me, it's just supposed to be fun. And I think if I'm having fun, I will remain consistent. So at least that's what I was trying to focus on. I picked up books about perspective because
I think that's really important, actually, what he just said about him wanting to have fun. And that has to be how it is always, right? Sometimes we have to like push ourselves through all of the bland aspects of like learning human anatomy and things like that, so that we can get back to the fun part of drawing. Because it's no fun not being able to draw the thing that you have imagining in your head and not being able to get it on paper. That part is extremely frustrating. But if you slog through all of the things that are like hindering that part of the learning aspect of drawing, like studying in art books and things like that. By the way, I am addicted to art books. I'm gonna have to do a video of like all the art books that I have another day because it's insane. But yeah, going through art books is fantastic for learning, right? And you don't have to do art books. Like there's so many tutorials and lessons that are online too, especially through Proco and like New Masters Academy. There's so many resources for artists to grow. It's awesome. But yeah, art books are great.
I learn and I want to understand this, and I think finally that clicked in me. It went from me just wanting to sketch whatever to, no, I actually want to understand these things so I can draw them better. And I wish I did that sooner. Again, this felt like taking so many steps back because I had no clue how to draw a body. Zero. I had not practiced it at all.
Yeah.
I had sketched so much, and I it feels embarrassing to admit this, but like everyone was so amazed by my 101 that I felt like, okay, well, my year one has to be really good, right? Like, but progress isn't a straight line. Like, I think I was being too hard on myself where I was getting close to a year and I'm like, I don't have anything to show for it.
Dude, that's so real. There's so many times as artists where we're like, we put pressure on ourselves because we feel like we need to show something amazing for our efforts, something amazing that we've been learning, or something that we've been incorporating, something new into our art that makes us better. I know I feel that pressure because there's always something. I feel like I'm learning something every day, and I want to keep having that mindset of I still need to learn, I still need to grow. I also want to be happy with where I'm at and not worried about like what other people are thinking or what they might say. So this is very relatable, and it's really important that he put that graph up there that progress isn't a straight line, right? I mean, for some people it might be, but for most people, I would say it is that squiggly line.
A full body one, and I'm like comparing it to my 80-day one, and I'm like, the 80-day one is still better, even though it's just like full body, it's still better.
But the full
So
body
if you
one
want to
looks pretty
improve,
good.
you have to kind of go through the pain of sucking again, I guess. Because it really felt like, oh, cool, like I drew for this much, and I don't have anything to show for it. I think I wanted to learn to draw and actually understand anatomy. Before, it didn't matter to me. It was just a hobby, but now I'm like, I want to actually know, like, how do you draw legs? How do you draw different expressions? How do you draw, what is this? You've all been waiting? I know I can do better, and I really wanted that to show, so I really did push myself a lot towards the end here. And that's when I bought an iPad. Coming in clutch last minute. Super satisfying to draw with a pen on an iPad, but obviously it was way different. So again, it was like a last minute learning curve of me not understanding the program and yada yada yada. So let's go through the last thing I drew, which was on the iPad. So I started off just sketching, and I was still too scared to draw bodies. I drew this, which I thought was going to be amazing, and I ended up really hating it. I think the colors are fun, but I didn't know how to draw.
It's so funny because what he's saying about like, yeah, he's like upgrading into digital art. Maybe it's not an upgrade for some people, but it's like he's having to overcome the steep learning curve of drawing digitally, which drawing with Procreate's actually awesome. It's pretty intuitive, but it's always like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So going through this process and like seeing his frustration over like things coming out that aren't so great, like with the legs on this one, very, very relatable.
I at least try to draw like a full body, but I was so scared of getting it wrong that I think I just made it look weird.
Hey, that looks better.
So I practiced drawing hair, but it's just like nothing interesting about it. This is just to try it out. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna really wow you guys. I started the line work. I tried my best to draw the actual hands. This is gonna be so good. And this is the end result. And I genuinely hate looking at it. I've looked at it so much, it just pisses me off. Even now, I don't want to. In my head, it was going to be so much more, you know. And then you look at it. And you're like,
looking at this, it's not bad. Like it looks really good. I would say it's actually better than the one that he drew with the green hair. That was last video. The line work is really good, so he improved on that aspect. The facial proportions are good. The thing that he probably doesn't like about it is he's using a lot of the airbrush, it looks like. So maybe some brush variety incorporating into his art would do a little bit better. I wonder if I could do like a paint over on this and see, because it's not bad. It has really good foundations, but it's so funny that he's like, he hates it. Because we all feel that way about some of our art, and that some things are just like unfixable, that we just like drop it. But it's really cool that he's expressing his genuine feelings about it.
oh, cool. That was it, huh? I desperately tried to draw something else because I don't know, like I felt like I could do more, but I kept drawing and I couldn't. Like it just came out looking weird and unsatisfying. This was supposed to be like the most simplest thing ever, like black high contrast with some color. Still, I didn't like it. And I was getting so close to the deadline. I think I have like 20 days left until this video. I drew a full body with perspective, and I thought it came out pretty good. I was okay with this one, but I still felt like I could do more. Really, so I sketched for a couple days, and I told myself I'm gonna give one last effort. I have to really like it to actually sketch it. And this is the last thing I drew. I finished it yesterday.
This looks really good. I really like this one. Yeah, and it looks like he's very like airy on the airbrush. It looks like he likes the airbrush quite a bit. But yeah, this looks really good. You know, there's some things that I would change, but the anatomy looks good. The little highlights on the hair, that's really good. It looks like the head is a little bit too wide, especially for the proportions of the body. The arm right above the elbow, like where the sleeve is, it's kind of wonky. But like the colors are really good. He understands value pretty well.
And I think I'm finally happy with it.
He should be.
I finally drew clothes that isn't just black, and I actually put some more time into the hair and like making the lines look nice and small little details and having the high contrast light. Maybe it's wrong, but it's there at least, and I think it makes it more interesting, you know, with some shadows and different.
Well, it's interesting, like seeing right below the chin where there should be like the drop shadow but underneath the chin. He's got it kind of like in reverse there. So there's still some things that he's learning, but for his level where he's at in his, you know, journey, this looks really good.
You know, all of it. I think I'm finally happy with it. I think for a year progress, yeah. Am I allowed to be happy? It took a lot of pain to get there, you know? Like, let's compare. Day 1, day 365. I don't know, maybe maybe you guys disagree, but I feel like I finally beat my 80-day whatever. This is still better. Oh. I genuinely cannot thank you guys enough for all the love and support with making these videos. It was such a massive encouragement for me to actually continue doing this. I'm the kind of person that love to try different things. I try new things all the time and I really enjoy doing that. But every once in a while, I find something that I really, really, really love and I will continue doing no matter what. And I think art might just be one of those things for me. I used to love drawing as a kid and I don't know why I stopped, but I'm so happy to be back doing it. It feels like I never stopped. I wanted this whole thing also to be inspiring. I want other people to have this experience as well. People say that anyone can draw, and I truly believe that. And it goes for anything really. Like, it's about practice, constant practice, no matter what. It's not rocket science. You put in the work and you get a result for it, hopefully. Like I said, I love to do so many different things. Usually if I try something, people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. Well, watch me do it 100 times better. And it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just beginner. But with me drawing, it was genuinely just everyone being encouraging. And I think that was amazing. And I really appreciate that. So yes, thank you everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things from this video that are really good, actually. The learning part of it, how hard it is to learn art and to be good at it and feel confident in yourself, that's all really relatable. A lot of artists feel that way. The big thing that I'm seeing online is like he's getting, it seems like a lot of hate for being wealthy, and people are saying like, oh yeah, you're rich, you have the time to do it. Not everybody else has the time to do it, things like that. Just from what I've seen on like Threads and X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, a lot of people have a problem with him developing this skill, which is kind of frustrating. I don't subscribe to the thought process that wealthy people that we should hate wealthy people. Some wealthy people, maybe, right? They make terrible choices and it's ridiculous. But I don't find it useful in my everyday life to hate others. Even wealthy people. It makes no sense to me. It's a waste of my emotions, a waste of my time. And I've noticed that, at least for me personally, it always comes from a place of jealousy. It's somewhere that I would like to be. But you never know. Everybody has their own issues. Everybody has their own processes. Everybody has their own journeys in life. So I can't subscribe to the thought process that I need to hate on this person because they're wealthy, they have extra time, they have more time than me, they can do whatever they want, things like that. I just feel like personally for me it comes from a place of jealousy and I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to feel that way towards anybody. Even if I strongly dislike somebody, I don't want to stay with those emotions. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me, at least. There's a lot of things here that Felix says that are extremely useful to anybody that wants to be in his shoes for learning art. The things that he says about hating his own artwork, the things that he says about getting out of his own way, the things that he says about pushing himself to get out of his comfort zone, the things that he says about feeling insecure about what other people might say about his artwork, that's all extremely important and valuable to other artists. So I don't see why people would be upset with him talking about that, especially if all of us feel that way. I think it should be encouraged, right? One of the big key takeaways that I'm getting from this is that so many people view art as a talent that people are magically born with and not so much as a skill that needs to be developed through life. Now, I'm not saying that some people don't have like innate abilities that maybe through other experiences in life they're a little bit more creative and can like see things in a different way. What I'm really getting from this is that Felix is saying that anybody can do this. You just have to put in the time and the effort and be able to see how much you're growing, how much you're improving. I think it's a useful video. I'm really glad that he put these videos out. I think especially for people, for us in the art community to comment on and to see and to relate to, I really like this, and I hope he continues his art process. I'd like to see more videos from Felix on this. Let me know how you guys feel about Felix's journey, art journey, down in the comments. Let me know if there's any qualms that you have with it. Let me know if there's anything important that you found from his video. Anyways, guys, y'all have a great night, have a great week, enjoy the holiday season, have fun, continue on your art journeys. Love you too, bye.